So Grubby's a WoW streamer now? For the foreseeable future, yes. All I can say is, it's good that I didn't start in 2K5. Because now I can experience it for the first time with Classic. It's hardcore, which I like, which wasn't around back then. I got to live out my wild years, traveling the world, playing tournaments, beating nerds and being beaten by nerds.
I can't do that yet. I'm out of range.
Do you think this game could achieve a 10-10 well-made ranking like Dota was for you? Oh, let me think about that. I think within its genre, that's definitely true, isn't it? Is there a better MMO than this? I doubt it.
That's still recharging. Can't cast that yet. Spell isn't ready yet.
It doesn't help that many of the new MMOs like fail soon after they come out. Actually, no, that's an outcome. That's not a reason. It doesn't help that many of the new MMOs are made by people that would really, really like to make them pay to win. And of course, I'm not saying Blizzard is better. There's already pay to win elements in WoW as well, in the new WoW. What did you like about Dota that League didn't do? Never tried Dota. Great question. Great question. Let me describe the order of MOBAs that I played. We'll start at the beginning. The first MOBA I basically played, not counting half a day of Dota 1 back in 2006. First MOBA I played was Heroes of the Storm. So what I knew about MOBAs is that they're easy games for people that aren't good at RTS. This is what I thought I knew, right? You play with teammates, and it's because you can only control one unit. That's why you play MOBA instead. And it's fun and everything, but it's casual, and ultimately it neither has prize money, glory, nor skill involved. This is how I felt. So of course I wasn't going to be distracted by a game for kids when I'm a Warcraft 3, like a super cool Warcraft 3 chat gamer. I played Dota 1 for a bit, and that was fun, but surely it's never going to lead anywhere career-wise, so it's just a distraction. Remember when Rob Stark wanted to march back to Winterfell because of his father's... I hope this is not a spoiler for everyone. He wanted to go like bury his father back in Winterfell. And then one of his commanders asked, is this, where's the army of, I don't know, like the Lannisters? And, you know, Rob was like, it's to the north, or to the south. And he's like, well, then this is a distraction. That's how it felt like to me. What, Ned died? Yeah, I was just about to watch that episode. So, I was playing Warcraft 3, and then Warcraft 3 tournaments were coming to a close in 2010. There were, for the first time in like 7 years, there were never any more Warcraft 3 tournaments on the horizon. So I had to consider my future, and I had like 4 options. I had a contact at Blizzard that wanted me to come work for them. I considered that. I could try to do internet poker, which, you know, a lot of people were doing at the time. You hear about all the successful stories, not about the unsuccessful ones. I could switch to StarCraft 2, or I could quit esports. Back then, streaming was barely a thing yet. Realistically, what I could have done is play casual Warcraft 3 on Twitch, since Twitch was out then. Justin TV was out in 2011. But my heart still very much wanted to compete at games, and I guess single-player games appeal more to me. And, you know, MOBAs, I didn't have a lot of respect for them or appreciation of them, so I didn't really see them as being an option. So the next step for me, after considering my options, I played a couple of weeks of online poker. Probably lost like $200. I had some books, read some books, figured out that I think poker is boring because you have to sit out a lot of hands. So I thought, if it's boring, I'm going to seek excitement, and then I'm going to gamble, and I'm very addicted to gambling if I do that. but I actually have the discipline not to get addicted to gambling. So that's the difference between me and a gambling addict. It is not of any skill that I have. I don't feel proud of the discipline that I have. I don't think it is to my credit that I can stop. I get just as addicted as the next guy to gambling, but somehow, genetically, through my raising or whatever, I don't know what, I can stop. Like, if I notice that something is becoming really negative, I can stop. And so, I'm not proud of it, but I'm just saying it because it's the truth. And I could tell that, like, poker, I really like the game, but if I keep playing it, I try to make it professional. I could see a future where I get too excited about playing many hands, which is suboptimal. So I thought, okay, I think poker is probably not for me if I have other options. So let's try this StarCraft 2 thing. Blizzard always makes good games. So I started playing StarCraft 2, had a great time. I did pretty well. I was quite well known. I was quite successful at qualifying for many, many tournaments. Sometimes I finished high, got second, third, fourth. I wasn't like a super world-class player, but I was, you know, respected and dark horse for events, whatnot. So I did that for a couple of years. Then eventually, I still couldn't go back to Warcraft 3, by the way, because there were still no tournaments. There was no stream scene really for Warcraft 3. At least I didn't think I could go back. And then eventually my love for StarCraft 2 waned due to design and balance decisions. This was starting in 2013. I was also not achieving as much as I did in the first 2.5 years. StarCraft 2 is a very hard game. There's many very talented and skilled gamers, and it's very, very competitive. And I did what I could to compete, but I also started segueing into YouTube and Twitch. And so it was already kind of like, you know, half-half. I started commentating more and more. I think I started enjoying commentating more in a way. So what I got from commentating in 2012, 2013... Well, actually, let's go back for a bit since we're farming anyway. I first tried StarCraft 2 commentating in 2011 at the ESWC, about half a year into my... It might have been 2012, actually, 1.5 year into my... I'm not sure if it was half a year or 1.5 year. It's a long time ago, 13 years ago. So back then, players were never casting tournaments. Casters were casting tournaments. But the league operator of ESL, who are now merged with DreamHack, they asked if I would sit in once as a guest. And people really, really liked it. Because even though casters like Kalaris, Apollo, Artosis are more experienced and perhaps had a lot better casting training, self-training, right? Experience and whatnot. I knew the game very well because I'm a top competing pro gamer. And this was quite novel. So people on Twitter, Reddit, Twitch... They really liked my casting for StarCraft because I could give all the timings and give all the reasons, whereas usually casters could only guess at the reasons of pros. So this was like a new level of analysis that was heretofore relatively unknown. So cue the age of player casters. Initially we did it pro bono to get a little bit more well known as well, because it was fun, because it helps level up the understanding of the player base so they can understand the games better. And all that, but eventually it became a paid gig, and I ended up doing dozens and dozens of StarCraft 2 commentating gigs for ESL, where I am, let's say, not the showmaker, not the color commentator, but like the expert, right? And so that was the beginning of a non-competing career for me. There was a bit of YouTubing, a bit of Twitching, and then there was a lot of casting. And I think I slowly started enjoying the casts more. Partially it was synergistic. It was a symbiosis. When I cast, I'm forced to watch games on one speed and to explain it to people. And as many of you know, the teacher learns as much sometimes as the student, because force yourself to explain something to someone else and you will gain a better understanding yourself. So I really enjoyed it. People enjoyed it. It became a common career. And I started thinking that it's very nice as well, because I'm talking about things that I love. And basically, I remember thinking one thing. Yo, thank you, Gorp. Not quite got the right number. Or did you count... Wait, weeks? I don't know. Weeks? No, not either. Half weeks. Yes, 123 half weeks. Quarter weeks. 123 quarter weeks. Thank you. So, I remember thinking back then, because StarCraft 2 is very unforgiving. You need to be very, very skillful to compete, right? Even the best players sometimes go to a tournament and just bomb out. And I remember thinking, when I go to the casting gigs, the moment you get on the plane and you don't miss it, you're a winner. Technically, you could do a terrible job as a caster and still get paid. Of course, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do a bad job, but technically the moment you get on the plane and you show up there, you've done your thing. And as a pro player, well, it's not the same. I should be blizzarding this. Let him hit me once, so he slowed. And I really enjoyed it as well. And so I was doing more and more casting. And then in 2013, when I didn't have as many results as in 2011, 2012... By the way, this is my answer about MOBAs. This is my answer on whether Dota 2 or League have any differences. We're getting there. You have to understand the history to appreciate the future, you see? Yeah. No, I at least I still remember the question. Yeah, so in 2013, I started not having as many results in... Oh, I need to get these solicited invaders? Okay. I started not having as many results in StarCraft 2, and it became more frustrating years because the amount of sacrifice and practice was not paying off with results. Right? I was still a sponsored player, I was still Twitching, I was still YouTubing, everything was going fine, but my pride as a competitor did not feel like I'm achieving what I want to be achieving. And it really is a classical example of a skill issue. Like I said, there are many very, very good StarCraft 2 players. And if I'm not achieving as much, it doesn't feel good. So by the end of 2013, my wife and I were in a car that we rented in the USA for one of the American tournaments. And at the end of the year, we both felt kind of hopeless. We had both emotionally invested so much in this career, doing everything we can to give the best possible shape for me, gratuitous amounts of practice, booking trips to Korea just to practice in Korea for a couple of weeks alone. My wife would pack me some meals from the Netherlands. I would go to Korea with some, preserved meals, and I would just be in this apartment slugging away, practicing for a couple of weeks by myself, basically doing everything we can to try and be as ready as possible. And it wasn't achieving as much. So we started thinking, perhaps it's time to do something new. But I said, I would like one more year to prove what I can achieve in StarCraft 2. And I would have to check my Wikipedia to see exactly what it was that I did achieve.
Why improve your death roll skills?
Yeah, I know, dude. I suck at death roll. Bad luck, huh? So we gave me another year. And I did everything I could, and I think, some things went well, and we got some good results and whatnot, but not to the level of satisfaction. So then, near the end of the year, maybe halfway through or so, my wife started playing this game called Heroes of the Storm. This was the newest project by Blizzard. By this time, to us, Blizzard is already not perfect, because we're already disappointed in them with how they handled some of StarCraft 2. But they're closer to perfect than ruinous. So for Heroes of the Storm, I would say there were mixed expectations. On the one hand, it's a MOBA, and as you guys know, I don't play MOBAs. And on the other hand, it is a Blizzard product, which still might be very, very good. So I didn't initially play it. My wife started playing it, and she really enjoyed it. And before that, she played Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2 herself as well, and not much else. Just like little, mobile games, whatever. Farmville, I don't know what it was called. And so she started playing Heroes of the Storm, and I consider her enjoyment of it a pretty big endorsement. But just like as with World of Warcraft in 2015, if I want to be a strong ninja, then I must resist the temptation of the flesh. Agree? So even though she's having fun, I'm not going to go play this game because it's going to set me away from the path of the samurai, of the ninja, of the martial artist. I do Bushido, the way of the fist, not the way of the flesh. So, oh, I have to go into a cave? Oh, damn. Oh my god. Okay. So there I am, and I'm struggling, right? Every night I'm playing against Swarm Hosts, which is a unit in StarCraft 2, which is one of the worst designed units ever in any game. And she's playing with as Arthas or Diablo or Brightwing or Lily, and she's having fun. Every night after stream, my wife and I have a discussion about how the day was, and I will complain and rage about Swarmhouse. I'll get mad. She will hear me out. I will say I went carriers. She will say, why did you even go carriers? I said I had a lot of money. She's like, carriers cost even more money than a lot of money. What were you doing? I said, I don't know what else anymore. Stalkers don't work either. I said I had 20k minerals. She said, that's not enough for carriers. And I said, right you are, honey. Planting a kiss on her forehead. And then sometimes I would finish stream, sometimes early even, because I didn't want to bother anymore with Swarmhost. And she wouldn't be done playing yet. Instead of waiting for me, like a good wife should be waiting with chicken soup and a massage. I'm just kidding. I'm not like that. Instead of her already being finished, I would finish the stream, and she would still be in her room gaming, and she'll be having fun. So there I am, ready to complain about my day, and she's having fun. So I would hear her laughing from the room. Laughing from a game. With mirth and joy and relaxation and reckless abandon. So I said to myself, what is this? And she said, wanna try? She said, wanna try? I showed up, I looked at the game, I'd never looked yet. In fact, I had asked her to stay away from me with her temptations. You know how women tempt you? There's only one thing men want, and all women know it. Games. So I had not entered her room watching her play the game because I have to focus on StarCraft 2. It's disgusting. Exactly. And so now I walked in because I had been hearing her laugh and be happy for like 1 or 2 months. All this time. And finally I walked into her room and I saw Heroes of the Storm in all its glory, and she said, wanna try? I said, okay. So I played on her account. Back then you needed a beta key to play. And I picked one of my favorite characters, Diablo. He's this big, hulking, red, monstrous, demonic monstrosity. And I played him, and this is basically the second time I ever played a MOBA after Dota2 half a day back in 2005. So, as you guys know, I'm a godlike Warcraft 3 player, right? So, I guess I just micro really well, what can I say? So I take Diablo, and I walk towards, basically like this. This is the visual for it. I walk at the enemy, 3 players there, but you know, my micro. So I go into there, and suddenly there's like a tower over there, and there's a tower over there, and both are shooting at me. And there's like 3 players, and I'm at their gate, 1v3, and I died. And then she said I can't move like that. And so I lost that game, and then she started coaching me. And it took me like 50 games till I knew the difference between all the different maps. Before you know it, I have this illicit...
Subbed for the godlike WC3 player and the dog-like Moba play.
Thanks. Suddenly, I'm playing StarCraft by day, on stream, practicing. I'm playing Heroes of the Storm by night, secretly. I don't tell my viewers. I don't tell my sponsors. It's a secret double life. I'll come back here later. There's nothing here. So I'm just enjoying a bit of Heroes of the Storm on the side. You know how it is. And then eventually, Christmas. Oh, I think it's gonna respawn soon. Christmas shows up. Christmas 2014. And we're playing with friends. And we're having a bit of a drink. You know, a beverage of the fermented kind. and one of my friends says, why not just go live? And I'm mortified to do this because my stream is only ever... My stream is... Yeah, it's not Kafir. My stream is only ever StarCraft, so I don't know whether anyone's gonna watch me play Heroes of the Storm, right? So I was pretty worried about that, but we just did it anyway to have fun with the game. A little bitch. Need to make a mana agate. Just bail out. Nah, we're fine, we're fine. So sure enough, I went live, and to understand completely, my StarCraft stream was usually about 2,000 to 5,000 viewers. At the lowest, maybe 2,200. At the highest, it's been over 10,000 viewers. So I was really trying to, you know, cater to my core audience. But then I started streaming Heroes of the Storm. I had like 100 viewers. And then I realized, and this is a lesson in life, I realized when you're thoroughly burned out and disinterested and demotivated and no longer interested in one thing, and you believe you could start a new beginning, even though you start at the bottom again, it will feel like $1,000,000. I realized I was happier streaming for 100 people in a game that by now I really liked and was relaxing, even though I didn't have a competitive future with it, perhaps, than to play StarCraft 2, where I still had sponsors, I still had tournaments, I still had, you know, an active Twitch audience. I didn't want to become like even more of a game hater, just playing a game you no longer like in order to make it work for the stream. So then, after Christmas and after considering everything, I decided that from January 1st, 2015 onwards, we're gonna be doing Heroes of the Storm full-time. I stopped my career as a pro gamer, and I'm gonna be a full-time streamer instead. And I think it was a great decision because I really, really enjoy it. Wow, he resisted every single headbutt. And now he resisted. Oh no, he didn't. That guy resisted every single pulse of Blizzard. So sick. It's because he's so high level.
My mana is low.
Some mana, please? Maybe I just let this go.
Okie dokie.
I'm just gonna let it go. Level 35 is too high. It messes up with the resistance stuff. So yeah, that's the beginning of Heroes of the Storm. We're gonna also make a mana agate. Agate. So that's when I started Heroes of the Storm, and slowly it grew in interest as other people, maybe because of my stream or because of Blizzard in general, started checking out HOTS, and I became the primary Twitch creator for Heroes of the Storm, if not for YouTube. And what did I like about Heroes of the Storm? Because the question was... the original question was, what do you like between Dota and League of Legends? So let me tell you all about Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm, I've never played League or Dota 2, right? So Heroes of the Storm promised to be things that the other MOBAs were not. Now, I don't know what the other MOBAs are, but I heard, while being a StarCraft 2 gamer, that those communities are toxic. And there seemed to be a lot of ego in a lot of people because I had heard terms such as carry. I am the carry. And that sounded so egotistical because in my mind, a team of 5 is 5 people. So this whole concept of one person 1v5ing someone or being the carry did not appeal to me. But I think by now, right, with the benefit of looking forward, I think it does appeal to many people, and it does in a way appeal to me as well. Because humans are not ants, we're not communists, we are hierarchical, and we do love personal glory and individualism and being able to beat the odds. Of course, we don't like it when there's a griefer on our team that's like making us lose, but I see the interest of it, okay? I see the interest of it. But back then I thought, this is great. Heroes of the Storm is more collaborative, there's less ego, it's a new beginning. The game doesn't have XYZ, I don't know. Most of all, I just liked that it was a fun-loving game that doesn't take itself too seriously and has a community of people that don't take themselves too seriously and they're just enjoying this game. It's just this party game. It's still pretty competitive. I don't think it's great for esports, by the way. Heroes of the Storm, you may disagree, but I don't think it's a great esports game. I think it's a great streaming game and a great game to play with friends. And so for me, that's what it became. I streamed it, I played it with friends, played it with my wife, and it was great. So, enter Dota 2. Dota 2, why did I start playing it? Well, first you need to understand about where my streaming career went next. For 2 years I played full-time Heroes of the Storm, 2015, 2016. Then in 2017 I started slowly reintroducing Warcraft 3 again into my streaming schedule. By this time I hadn't played it for about 7 years. So technically when I say I've been playing Warcraft 3 for 22 years, it's not true. I've been playing it for 15 with a 7-year gap because I was playing SC2 and HOTS. But anyway, I started reintroducing Warcraft 3 again and I realized it's still a lot of fun. So playing Warcraft 3 again. So while for a while I was monogamous, monogamous, one game, I now became polygamous, playing 2 games, bigamous, let's say, Warcraft 3 and HOTS. I would do like HOTS in the week and Warcraft 3 in the weekend. And slowly my audience got used to the feeling, to the idea, to the schedule that I am playing 2 games. So I was not even nearly full variety, but now I'm playing 2 games instead of 1. And that was very interesting for me, and it was interesting for people, I would say. And it's also the only way that I could do it sometimes, because I need the variety as well. I wanted to play different games. At some point, Blizzard announced Reforged. Reforged is a remake of Warcraft 3 that could have been really great, but due to bad planning by Blizzard, greed, mismanagement, internal struggling, budget cutting, underfunding, and more, it became not great. It became pretty terrible. At this time, my life and my career were so entangled with Blizzard's success, with Blizzard's creations, that the destruction of the reputation of Warcraft 3
Okie dokie. Grub to the sub.
greatly affected me. Mostly emotionally. Because the career went on, it was fine, right? Like, yes, there is most of the hatred or dislike is aimed at Blizzard. It's not misdirected at me, but emotionally it affected me greatly because I love the game, and now suddenly our lovely game will always be tainted by the reputation of what happened. Everyone will always remember that. And then I realized that if I keep relying only on Blizzard games ever for my enjoyment, I'm giving them too much power in determining what I can be enjoying out there in the world. If Blizzard goes down under, I'll have nothing left. So I felt like it was important to start studying other games and enjoying other games. So I did. I started my semi-variety arc. playing lots of different games. And it was so much fun. So finally, I would like make a stream schedule that wasn't just the same game every day, or even like the same game on every day of the week. I started like just randomly doing things that I'd never tried before, trying new things. XCOM, XCOM, Counter-Strike, Northgard, etc. And then that lasted pretty much 2019, 2020. Age of Empires 4 came out. It was great. Played that for 6 to 9 months. Then I went back to variety and I started playing lots of different games again. Dozens of games over the course of a couple of months, right? Until Dota 2 came and it killed variety once again. I would keep contact with Warcraft 3 and keep playing Warcraft 3 from time to time.
Greetings,
but Dota
friend.
2 is a hungry mistress. Oh yes. It wants a lot of your time, and it is so worth it. So now to answer the question, what is it about Dota 2 that is different than League of Legends? Why is Dota 2 so interesting? So first I'll compare it to Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm doesn't have Last Hit, and it doesn't have Deny. It also doesn't have items. It has fewer heroes. It does have more maps. It has a smaller map. It has a simpler map. It has a clear objective, it is relatively easy to play, and it has relatively short games. This is everything that Heroes of the Storm is. Dota 2 is hard to play, has a lot of knowledge requirement, does play on a single map only. There are a lot of objectives, some of which are relatively obscure to understand. It does have last hitting, it does have denying. Oh, I leveled up! Yes! Nice. Here we go. Got another talent. Gonna go get improved Cone of Cold. So, Dota 2 has these things. It's a difficult game. It's extremely rewarding. There was a lot to learn. Humans are curious creatures, and I am no different. Learning a new game, like Dota 2, was incredibly rewarding. There was a lot to learn. And more than that, the game is built within Warcraft 3's engine. Not really. Actually, that's not true. The game is modeled in its engine after Warcraft 3. And so there was a lot of familiarity there for me.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Dota 2 is a game where you can have 15-minute games, 25-minute games, 35, or 1 hour and 10. There's many different positions you can play that are all incredibly rewarding. You are fighting over every single inch. Where in Heroes of the Storm, you can go mentally AFK sometimes and kind of autopilot your laning phase. And you can fight for 16 levels and then 20 levels. And then suddenly you could have one fight that ends it all. Dota 2 has a lot of stopgaps that prevent you from finishing the game very easily. There's many comeback mechanics. There are slowdown mechanics. Both League of Legends...
My, you're a tall one.
Both Heroes of the Storm and League of Legends games can end very, very quickly. If you end up a little bit ahead in those games...
Right.
If you end up a little bit ahead in those games, in League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm, you can just go end the game within like a minute. It's insane. But in Dota 2, that's almost never the case. I would say that Dota 2 is a kind of game where nothing is ever easy. I mean, except when it is. Except when everything is easy. But like, even games and hard games, you fight for every single inch.
That's still recharging.
From second 0 in the game, even before the gates open, essentially, before the game time starts, you're fighting for everything. Vision, information, ganks, bounty runes, and then you've got the river runes, then you've got additional objectives. It is such a fun and exciting game, and everyone has a different view on how the game is best played. And sometimes you argue about that with your teammates, but sometimes all the different things that people do in Dota 2, it just works out together. I may like farming a lot. Someone else likes fighting a lot. Someone else is defensive-minded. Someone else is aggressive-minded. Someone else likes to stack the creeps together. Some people do like more lane manipulation. Others constantly look for hero kills. There's so many item options. and they greatly changed how heroes are played. Everything is OP in Dota 2, which is so much fun.
Isn't ready yet.
Now let's compare Dota 2 with League of Legends. I would say League of Legends has great mechanical skill requirements. I compare and liken League of Legends as the MOBA that has partial Street Fighter mechanics. It's a little bit like League of Legends is a MOBA with Street Fighter mechanics, like Tekken or something. Because you need to... It's a lot about your attack agility, movement agility, and counter agility. Your dodge, your parry. League of Legends is, in terms of physical agility, it's a very high skill game. But in terms of strategy, there is also strategy, but it is definitely less deep than Dota 2 strategy. In the sense that in League of Legends, if you are behind, you're supposed to just stay where you are, where you're supposed to be, which game mechanics have even contributed to keeping you there. Right? Let me give you an example. In League of Legends, there used to be a strategy called funneling. It's where the entire team of 5 players, let's say the rest of the team of 4 players, all work together to prep as many creeps as possible for the jungler to kill. They're force-feeding the jungler through a massive tube shoved down their throat, lining up creeps everywhere. And then they become so strong that that person can 1v5. That was not desired gameplay for Riot, so they actively made game mechanics that counter that. Totally fine if that's how they want to do it, right?
Isn't ready yet.
That would never get countered in Dota 2, I would say. In Dota 2, you have a great liberty of how you can play. You can go to other lanes. You can do things that seem really stupid. So for instance, in Dota 2, you split 2-1-2. But sometimes people just go 3-1-1. And it's really stupid and bad. And then it can work anyway. It's really funny.
I can't cast that.
You've got a lot of crazy situations in Dota 2. And when you're behind in Dota 2... Oh no! Louis Le Fou! No! C'est la vie? Dude, we just played with him yesterday. If my mage dies or I get 60, I would like to do Warlock again. I want to prove that I can do it better this time. So yeah, I think League of Legends, it's easier to get into. It's very popular, therefore you will find many people you can play with. I think League of Legends has very sexy characters that will appeal to some people. I personally find it distracting, actually. Dota 2 does not really do sexiness. Like, yeah, sure, like Wind Ranger or something. Some people go hot for Hoodwink, which is super weird. Dark Willow. But League, it's all over. There's like male sex appeal, female sex appeal, and it's like, it's super in your face. So it's a bit of a gooner game as well, League. And then it's like, it's relatively easy to get into in terms of gameplay. I think strategically it's not as deep, but mechanically, I think League is deeper than Dota 2. Now, I'm not saying Dota 2 doesn't have mechanics. Queen of Pain, Brightwing, what's her name? Queen of Pain, Puck, Meepo, you know, Beastmaster, Visage, Storm Spirit, Ember Spirit. There's a lot of mechanics. Morphling is insane, Invoker. But it's not forced. But I think in League of Legends, everyone pretty much needs good stutter stepping, good stutter step auto attacking. Sometimes they call it orb walking, which I think is a wrong term, but as long as you know what I mean, that's what matters. So like everyone needs some form of orb walking, stutter stepping skill. I mean, I guess Yumi, I suppose, which is why I liked her so much. Animation cancelling, yep. Yo, thank you for the subs, guys.
Tell me Kotil giving mana is not the epitome of sexiness to know why I'm even subbing TBH.
Misclick. So yeah, to basically summarize, which of the 3 MOBAs is right for you? Not talking about community, okay? I'm not talking about potential problems you could have with community and reporting. I'm not talking about the client, purely talking about the gameplay right here. Heroes of the Storm if you want to chill and have maximum 30 minutes game length. Dota 2 if you want the epitome. Where? Dude. Dota 2 if you want the epitome of strategy. The epitome of a difficult strategy game. Heroes of the Storm if you want to relax and have fun. And League if you... Well, actually, I can't 100% answer that. I think Dota 2 and HOTS are better than League. But it's the most popular. I don't see why I would play League, to be honest, over Heroes and Dota. I think someone else has to answer that. I wanted to say League if you want a goon, but like that doesn't really make sense either. League if you want to rub one out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if other people feel that way. You didn't play enough? Yeah, maybe. But I don't have to play, you see. The game needs to convince me to play it. And for League, I never hated it. I never disliked it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. That's all. And you don't need to be offended by that.
You have a great day now.
Hey, we found this Silk Sand Cape. 6 stam. Oh my god. I actually found a back that's better than what I had during farming. Nice. Huge improvement. What about this? Mantle of Dawn. 8 intellect, 7 spirit. 8. So we gain 8 armor, we gain 2 intellect, but we lose 3 stam. 2631. 2631 or 2601. 30 mana gain while losing 30 health. Okay, we'll just do it. Spirit is the second best stat for a mage. No, your info is wrong because it is based on dungeoning in softcore. But I am questing and AoEing and farming in hardcore. So the second best stat is... Actually, the first stat is stamina. Let's say stamina and intellect are shared. You need a balance. And then the third one is spirit. Like if I could choose very high in one, very low in another, I would be high stam, low int. And so in that sense, I would say that stamina is actually the primary stat in hardcore. Does he wake up the others? Not this time. What's that? Ooze covered mithril deposit.
Too far away.
Bro, I've never seen this. Is this like 300 requirement? Oh, 175. That's crazy. Oh wait, this is a dead end. Spirit is useless since you're full drinking after pulls. You'll still gain mana a little bit faster. Like, I wouldn't say it's useless either, but yeah. Stamina is very good. Let's kill a couple of these nerds.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Hey, Dentaire, thank you for the sub, dude. Appreciate it. And the Thanamus. The new shoulders look cooler. Yeah, they look good. Hope this is not on top of the hut. It's not. Good. And they have no shelter either.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Warcraft 3 point of view, guys. Freaking pushback.
Isn't ready.
bitch.
I'm out of range.
Let's try target dummy. I've never used one before. It's not working that well. Like, not everyone answered it. Also, they're all pulling each other now. It's weird that they remain yellow and they still want to take a bite out of me. All of them. Wow. I still have ice block. I'm gonna use it now. I have blink.
That's still recharging.
My heart is beating. Are they never gonna let me go? Oh. Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. Are they never gonna give me up? Oh. Oh. A second life! We got a second life! Thank you! I appreciate life so much more now! Woo! Oh, my heart. This was by far your closest goal? It was. Leashing doesn't work well when you run in big circles. Yeah. You didn't know the terrain pathing? Yeah, I didn't know my escapes. Was Cold Snap on your radar? Yeah, I was looking at everything. I knew about Cold Snap, but I was like 8% health, 8% mana. 76 HP is how low you got. Bro, if I died because I equipped the other mantle that has... imagine if I was like 29 health on the other mantle, I would have been dead now.